Raymond and Ray appears on Apple TV October 21st, 2022, and I want to highlight this as a movie I kind of like. I was attracted to this movie because of the actors in it. Ewan McGregor and Ethan Hawke team up. Both are actually pretty good at reading scripts, picking good projects, and so that's partly why I chose to watch this. The movie is an adult, melancholy comedy, a dramedy. It's got flavors of the A24 movies, the higher art movies that some people like, but this is sort of also more of a mainstream or Hollywoodish thing. It's sort of a blend of the two, which is kind of nice. The movie is about these two brothers played by McGregor and Hawke named Raymond and Ray, and at the beginning of the movie their father dies. Raymond goes up to the house of Ray and tells him, "Your father dies, your father's dead," and both are kind of nonchalant about this. In fact, Ray isn't sure he wants to go to the funeral because who cares? They both decide to go to the funeral. They take a short buddy road trip, and they get to the place, the site of the funeral. Most of this movie takes place in either the mortician's office, the funeral home, or in the graveyard, where the two brothers, what's going to happen in this kind of movie. They try to figure out their lives, their past lives, as they dwell on who their father was. Now, over the course of the movie, we come to know this father quite well, who never appears in the movie except as a corpse and in a 2-second dream sequence. Other than that, he's not present. But what I really love about this movie, I love this trick in movies, is that even though the character's not there, he actually is. He's probably more of a main character than Raymond and Ray themselves are. Now, what kind of father names both of his sons Raymond? And at one point, one of the boys says, my mother called me Raymond, his mother called me Ray. By the way, the boys are half brothers here, in order to distinguish us. But then the father used to call me Ray and him Raymond. So the father is a rascal, a rapscallion. He's definitely a philanderer who has had multiple children with multiple wives and lovers. You're going to see a couple of them in the movie. And these two characters, these older middle-aged characters, Raymond and Ray, are going to discover brothers they never knew as this movie goes along. The movie very clearly has, I think, an idea that's interesting to me. A thin veneer, a surface that everything's okay and cool and nonchalant, or we can just get by, or we need to move into the future. The score, for example, is this cool jazz score that kind of is telling us, oh, it's all cool, it's all hip, man, it's all fine. But with the father there, the corpse, and then the whole backstory, the whole past of both of these men, you know that they're haunted, disturbed, changed, transformed by their father who is gone but still present. And we as the viewers are discovering new things as this movie goes along, most of which I found pretty interesting to dwell on. And as this movie moved along, even to the ending, my views of who these characters were and the father kept changing and evolving as the story went along. In other words, this is a thoughtful movie, I think, that requires paying attention to it. And there will be things that will annoy you just as things that annoyed me. This movie is maybe a tonal mess, one could claim. I'm not sure that it is, but there are moments where things are supposed to be funny that I didn't find to be funny, and lines that probably didn't need to be in the movie, a little bit of exposition that probably, I don't know, maybe handled too clunkily. However, when this movie gets to the end, I'm still dwelling on the ending. I think this movie feels like it wraps up nicely, and characters get what they want, but I actually don't think that's the case. And there's a way to watch this movie that says this movie wants you to get satisfaction from it, but then there's a more disturbing layer underneath, I feel like, where I think these characters, we are supposed to, as viewers, recognize their father, whom they don't like or are disturbed by, in themselves. They've taken on a lot of qualities of their father, or they've inherited qualities from their father that maybe they don't recognize. I don't think this movie is about them discovering that they're like their father, although maybe in a couple moments they do. But more so, we as viewers see their father in them. I think by the ending, I'm even looking at the ending and going, they're so much like their father, more so than they want to be, which I find really interesting about this movie. I'm highlighting this movie because this is one of the better movies that have come on Apple TV, and for anybody who's a fan of either or both of these actors, I think this movie will be totally satisfying. This is a good adult movie, as in it's for adults who suffered through some of the things these characters have, and we need more movies like this, frankly. Very few have come out in movie theaters in the past few years, or the past year for me in my local movie theater. So good on Raymond and Ray and Rodrigo Garcia for writing and directing this movie. What do you think about this movie? Let us know in the comments. Please subscribe for more great content. Thanks and have a great day.